Welcome back. We're on episode 24 of Pro Audio Dealer Disaster, where we look at online listings for pro audio equipment and sound systems and talk about the deals, the system configurations.
Do you like that?
And of course, I try to share any memories and stories I have with the gear we see, but the comments and information that you all have added to each episode so far has been incredible. I can't thank you enough for helping to make this series not only fun, but also a great educational resource. Before we get into today's episode, I have a first for the series, and that's an update from one of the sellers. From episode 18, 3 months ago, we've got a message from @GrayTechnical about the VTC rig on screen right here. Glad to see my line array made the press and that I'm a decent photographer, LOL. The VTC was a great little system. Tom Danley designed the boxes with really nice, even coverage. Personally, I do too much contract and other work, and these ended up sitting in the warehouse, so yes, I was finally motivated to move them. They sold to a gentleman west of Lima, Ohio last week. It's awesome to hear that they've found a new home. They've added some more information as well. To satisfy your curiosity, I never did fly them because the dealer I bought them from didn't have any fly bars. And then later when I tried to buy them, I was having a hard time finding any. The factory was out of stock. The basic blueprints of the fly bars are on the data sheet. The guy who purchased them was going to have a local shop fabricate some. So that's some good information there because we were wondering if they had been flown. They looked super clean in the listing. But yeah, really cool to hear from @GrayTechnical. Thank you so much for the information. And if anybody else knows about any of the systems we cover in the series, definitely give us an update. That's really neat to hear.
This is KIMA TV 29, cable channel 6, Yakima.
This looks like the start of a horror film. They've got this poor M7CL in this dark storage unit or maybe a trailer. Hard to tell from this picture, and the description just gives the factory description. So no more details there, but it's an M7CL. They don't even say which one it is, the 32 or 48 channel version. And we can see here from this picture that this is the 48 channel version. And the road case does have a doghouse as well. And it looks like they've got a few console lights they'll probably include. $1,800 with the road case and meter bridge. Overall, that's a lot of gear for $1,800, but whether or not it is worth it these days, I'll leave that one up to you.
KTWO2 Casper, KKTU 33 Cheyenne.
This is a very New Jersey listing, Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. This person just has a pair of Vertec subs randomly. $2,400, JBL Vertec sub 4880, one pair, double 18, no covers, no fly bars. And now here we see he's got caster boards and covers, so maybe he has a lot more of these and these are just a pair that he needs to get out of inventory for whatever reason. It sure would be nice if he included the caster boards. I could live without the covers even, but trying to move these around without the caster boards is a pain in the butt if you've got the option to use the caster boards, right? I don't know, would you take a chance on those if you had some already and needed a couple more? Or how hard do you think it would be to get new caster boards and covers for these at this point? I wonder if anybody is still selling those as a new product or if you would have to find them on the secondhand market only.
Channel 6, look at Channel 6.
DiGiCo S21 with a Dante card. Original owner, not used as much as I'd hoped. Very good condition. Dante card, $5,100. And I'm assuming that includes the case. Don't know why you'd want to keep the case if you're selling the console. So yeah, there's the Dante card there. Overall, the console looks a little dusty, but in good condition, really. And yeah, there's the case all closed up. Very nice condition overall. Doesn't look like it's been treated harshly. And they've had this one on the market now in Pennsylvania for 11 weeks, and they've dropped the price from $65 down to $5,100. If you've bought or sold a used DiGiCo console recently, let us know if you think that's a fair price. Or where do you think they're going to have to land to actually get somebody interested in that? It seems like a lot of the DiGiCo users I talk to want the latest console at all times. I don't hear a whole lot of people getting excited about their stuff on the secondhand market. And maybe that's because they keep coming out with such cool stuff. So I totally understand that. But let me know what you think of a S21 in 2026.
Jerry Mathewson, weather for you.
Hicksville, Ohio, Pro Audio Bose Speaker System Portable, $3,100, and it has been on the market for 7 weeks already. This ad is for a very good working Pro Audio Bose speaker system, not parting out. I've used this system for several small to medium-sized events, and it has always had plenty of audio power and clarity for me. Some EQing does help, but it is usable as is. You really can't beat Bose sound. System includes 2 Panoray 502A speakers. He's factoring those at $450 each. 2 Bose MB4 modular bass subwoofers, being counted at $750 each. A Technical Pro Slim Pro 1600. That would be this amplifier here that looks like a PowerSoft knockoff. And then we've also got a Technical Pro B3000, which I guess DAB 3000 here, which they are using for the tops. And they've just got a DBX crossover, so it does not look like they have the processing box that would have come with these in the first place. Yeah, you're supposed to have the Bose Panoray system controller or the amplifier card specifically for these speakers. And yeah, they do not have either of those. So they're just running this system straight up. And that remark here about some EQing does help. I bet it does, because if you're not running the Bose system processor, these things would sound horrendous. So yeah, that's unfortunate that they're just rocking this straight up, and they not only skimped on the amplifiers. Maybe Technical Pro aren't cheap, but they certainly look like knockoff amplifiers, right? Then we've got a Rode 4-space case. We've got that DBX crossover. $150 used on that is dreaming. $175 on the case is crazy. And then they've got some speaker cable as well. I can throw in the original electronic Bose EQ component if you want to try to fix it. So they do have the original system processor. It's broken, and they just decided to keep rolling without it. That's a poor choice. System value at over $3,271. Sure. Note, one of the amp channels in the main amp is not as strong as the other, so one of his knockoff amplifiers is also broken. Interesting. I prefer not to sell my Elise's 8-channel mixer nor my Ultimate support. Oh, so now the speaker stands are not included in the deal. But he will include the speaker stands if sold at their actual retail value. What sort of nonsense are people talking about these days? You don't want to sell the speaker stands unless you get full retail value for them? Like, they just say they're not for sale. That's absurd. So that's a roller coaster of a listing there. And I think he's going to continue holding on to this one until he gets a little more realistic about what he actually has.
This is News 5, first place winner of Michigan AP's Best Newscast Award.
How do you like a Funktion ONE sound system with FFA amplifiers for $15,000 listed a week ago in Brooklyn, New York? And from the pictures here, it looks like maybe this came out of commercial installations. Got some restaurant chairs. They've got some other audio equipment here. You can see there's some Allen and Heath rack gear, as well as a mixer covered in all sorts of dust in the background, but I don't believe that's part of this listing. This one is for the Funktion ONE sound system with FFA amps, Mark II main speakers and sub speakers, pair Funktion ONE Res 2 loudspeaker Mark II, Funktion ONE F218 Mark II, I'm guessing that is bass enclosures, full fat audio FFA 6004 power amplifier. Good condition, needs some work. Feel free to write an offer, price listed or best offer. So we can see there's maybe some water damage, or it kind of looks almost like some mold has grown in storage. Maybe these were in a building that didn't have heat or electric on for some period of time before they were put into this, what looks like pretty clean storage that they're in now. And yeah, there's another look at them. They could use a fresh coat of paint, but otherwise they don't seem like they're in terrible condition. So from what I'm reading in the listing, it looks like we've got a pair of these loudspeakers, presumably these ones here, plus a pair of the bass enclosures, which are these big fellas back here. And then the amplifiers that we just saw there a moment ago, these FFA amplifiers. But they don't mention for 15 grand if we're talking about this other DSP from Funktion ONE, which you would presumably want, or if you would get these other Funktion ONE, these smaller speakers here, or what the deal is with the rest of this gear, because there's some Funktion ONE, you know, under balcony or zone speakers. Then we've got the Allen and Heath equipment here as well. And these QSC amps that definitely look like they've seen some water damage. I don't know if that's actually rust or just like some sludge or, you know, some debris that's built up on those, but it doesn't look good. It kind of looks to me like maybe this was the bottom one in the rack and the room it was in flooded, but that's just a guess. But overall, this gear just kind of has a look to me like, you know, if I opened up a storage unit and saw this, my first thoughts would be, yeah, maybe some water damage, right? And yeah, these just look dusty and like they need a bit of paint. Overall, they don't look bad. And yeah, I'd love to see these up close and see what kind of damage we're actually looking at here, because that looks a bit rough around the edges, honestly. More so than any of the rest of the gear, these tops here look kind of rough. What do you think about that for $15,000? Presuming that it's just the gear listed, but maybe it's everything. Who knows? Maybe you could work out a package deal there. But in Brooklyn, I would assume it came out of some sort of restaurant or club, but let me know if you recognize it or if you think I'm barking up the wrong tree on that assumption.
Or watching Cairo TV, Channel 7, your 24-hour news source.
For just $1,000 more at 16 grand, we've got a JBL SRX 900 complete speaker package, Bands DJ Church, listed 2 weeks ago out of Illinois. And the listing reads, this is a complete JBL SRX package ready for traveling professional wedding bands and DJs or as a dedicated install for churches, clubs, or any other venue. In the package, you get 2 JBL SRX 918S subwoofers, 4 JBL SRX 906 LA speakers, 2 JBL VTX PM pole mount adapters, 2 K&M 2133 7 poles, 2 JBL SRX 906 LA BP base plates, 1 JBL SRX 906 LA flight case, 2 JBL SRX 918 subwoofer covers, 2 JBL ACK1 subwoofer caster kits, and 6 SRX 900 rain covers. That includes all the PowerCon and XLR cables, and they're happy to demo the gear beforehand for serious buyers. So there we go. You can see the K&M poles, which I've owned those before for the SRX series subs. Those are really nice poles. You got the wacky looking brackets up top there that let you put these up in pairs like this. And then they've also included the base plates, so you can use those without the subs. And there's the 4 of them on the base of their pullover case, which all looks to be in very nice condition for sure. Really clean package. I'm not really hip to the used market on these. Does anybody have any experience buying or selling these specifically recently? Obviously, this package comes with a bunch of extras that are definitely not cheap when you buy them new and directly from JBL. And it looks like new, you can grab the 4 tops with the pullover case alone for $10,005 on Sweetwater right now. And here for $1,669, there's a package with the subs and 4 tops in the configuration we're looking at, but without all the other accessories. So that kind of puts some of this into perspective. So as a package, I'm inclined to believe the price here, but let me know what you think if you've got any experience with these boxes in particular.
May 22nd is Space Day.
I like this one out of Webster, Massachusetts. Electro Voice MTL4, MTH4 speakers, $2,000. And the listing reads 2 EV MTL4, 2 MTH4 speaker system. Everything is operational. Amps and processing is available as well. please, not a million questions, Google it. That's all we're going to get out of them, but these do look to be in very nice condition indeed, even with the appropriate grill cloths looking serviceable for the kind of clubs you would probably want to use these in. Maybe you could fix them up a little bit, but overall, not bad. Around the back, we can see we've got speak on. We've got them noted pin 2 high, pin 1 low. And then we can see around the side here, we've got fly hardware on the top boxes there. So those would be pretty easy to get up in the air with some pretty standard stuff. Around back here on this top, it looks like we've got a bad input, possibly. We've got some carpet peeling. And again, we've got another speak on with tape over it. Maybe they just got these wired in a certain way that they don't want people plugging into those. Maybe that's a pass-through. And then again, we're back around to the front picture here. And I personally don't have any experience operating or mixing on one of these rigs. So if you do, let us know what we could compare to, and would you have any specific use for it nowadays? I'll link a thread below from 3 years ago on Reddit where a number of folks were discussing the manifold design in these subs and the various thoughts they had on their efficiency and things like that over the years. So definitely check that out down in the description. But $2,000 for 2 tops, 2 subs. Maybe a package deal could be made on the amps and processing. Do you think it's worth it? Anybody remember these fondly?
Married with Children, weeknights at 11:35 on Channel 8 WKBT.
And here's another big old school PA system. This one's from Peavey for $1,600. And this kind of has the, like a Claire S4 kind of vibe to it. And a whole bunch of people made boxes that looked very similar to this around the time that the S4 was popular. And here's Peavey's 3020 HT system combined with the 415 sub boxes here. And I don't know if these are before Black Widows would have been popular. These kind of look like Scorpion speakers from Peavey of the time. And, once they started putting Black Widows in the subs especially, they were pretty adamant about putting badges all over them that said BW. So they were very easy to tell. And here they are deployed at what looks like maybe a small community event with some DJ lights. And unfortunately, they do need a little bit of maintenance. The grills here obviously need some paint, but nothing that would take more than an afternoon really to get back to looking pretty fresh. And that would be a pretty cool vintage looking, retro looking PA for the right venue. Whether or not you'd want to mix on it is a different story, but it certainly has a kind of cool vibe to it.
ATVZ 21, Ben.
And this listing just has the one picture, but here's Community's version of the similar kind of Claire S4 looking, half stack boxes with the quad 15 subs. And then here, even again, another pair of their big dual 15 tops here. And these are quad 12s on these, I believe. So yeah, everybody was making boxes that look like these for a while there.
Super 18 Wisconsin Superstation.
Now, this is something I have considered looking for and buying to make a video or a series out of, and that is like putting together a complete recording system from different time periods. And I'd love to do that with an ADAT system or another DTRS system, some sort of tape-based multi-machine with a controller setup. But here we have a complete Pro Tools system, including the period correct computer and everything you would actually need. $2,500. Complete Pro Tools recording system includes Mac Tower and monitor, Avid C24 control surface, 2 DigiDesign 96 IO interfaces, comes with all of the DB25 cables and snakes, but with no external speakers. So you just have to bring your own monitors and microphones. Here we can see the 2 DigiDesign 96 IO units. I'm assuming this universal audio interface here is not a part of this listing since it's not mentioned. And there is the Mac Tower with the iLock USB inserted and the control surface, and it looks in pretty much as good a condition as it would have been the day they got it. Everything here looks like it's been maintained really well, and honestly, if you were to keep this computer offline and just use this system for $2,500, I think that's a lot of value there. And I don't know what you would be missing out on with whatever version of Pro Tools they have in this system versus what's out there today. But I'm sure whatever Pro Tools version came with this vintage of equipment was very capable. This is not that terribly old of a system. So $2,500 for the computer, all of the I/O, and the controller. That'd be a fun one to make a video with and really go through, but I don't know if I've got quite the budget from the views on this channel to stretch that far all at once. But let me know what you think, and if you think I should do that in the future, maybe put together a period correct recording system to demo.
It's not just any box, it's your box 64.
Thanks for sticking around. As always, I want to ask if anybody has any price sheets, brochures, catalogs, or period correct advertising or ephemera related to this kind of equipment from the 80s or 90s, and you'd be willing to scan it or take photos or even just send it over so I can do that. Please reach out to me in the comments. It would be a huge help in making future episodes in this series.